Welcome back to another episode of Herbs for Health. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to create a herbal formula. And with this scenario, we're going to create a herbal iron formula. Now caution, always find out the medication your clients are taking. Certain medicinal herbs cannot be taken with pharmaceutical medications. When creating a herbal formula, you have to think about what's your main focus. That is determined by the underlying cause or the symptoms. That can be pain relief, digestive support, stress, or anxiety. Any of these symptoms can be the cause. This will determine the primary goal for your formula. Now, here's the scenario. The client has a low blood count, always feels tired, and is having some digestive issues. Now, the focus of this formula is building the blood count in a client. They may be anemic. Now, because we know the main focus, we need herbs that will support the hematological system. This deals with the blood count. So the herb that I'm going to use to support the building of the hemoglobin are beets or beetroot. Beets are a good source of folic acid. Folate is the natural form of vitamin B9. Now let's talk about folate. Folate makes DNA, repairs DNA, and produces red blood cells. And beets is a good source of folate. Let's talk about supporting herbs. The supporting herb will support other symptoms, but also assist the primary herb. I will be using Gentian, a bitter herb that helps the digestive system to absorb nutrients. This is one of the supporting herbs that I'm going to be using in this formula. We need this as a supportive herb so that the client gets the benefits of the herbs in any food that's consumed. The next supporting herb will be Nettle Leaf. It is a tonic herb that will help strengthen and restore the function of organs and systems. Also, it is a good source of iron, vitamin C, vitamin A, and even folate. Nettle leaf has that presence of vitamin C, will also help to increase iron absorption. The next supporting herb is Burdock Root. It is a powerful tonic supporting the liver. It also supports the hormone system as well. Burdock Root also helps the lymphatic system. It also cleans the blood and promotes circulation. So here's our formula: beetroot, gentian, nettle leaf, and burdock root. So let's go to the lab. Alright, so we are now in the lab. And first you're going to need a mixing bowl and your scale. I'm going to go ahead and zero out my bowl here, and always measure in grams. So let's zero that out. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing here is starting with our primary herb, which is beetroot. That is our primary herb, so we want to add more of the beetroot in this formula. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and measure out 50 grams of beetroot because we're focusing on building the hemoglobin levels in our client. Now remember, this is scenario based. just for, you know, example purposes here. So let's measure that out. So I'm just adding a little bit and we should be at 50 grams. All right, perfect. So we have 50 grams of beetroot. So now the next herb that we're going to add is burdock root. Now for the burdock root, I'm actually going to be adding about 30 grams of burdock root because the burdock root is really good for the circulation and also cleansing of the blood. Also make sure that every time you measure out another ingredient that you zero out your scale. Okay. Now, as I was saying, the burdock root is really good for the cleansing and the circulation of the blood. And so this is going to also help with the production of carrying these nutrients to the other parts of your body. All right, so we have 30 grams of the burdock root. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and tear. We'll zero out your scale as always. And then we're going to go with the gentian. Now, as I mentioned before, gentian is very good because it helps the digestive system to absorb all the nutrients. Okay, and this client in our scenario is having a digestive issue where they may not be getting all of the nutrition or nutrients, from their diet. And so we need to make sure that they can absorb these minerals and nutrients from food and this formula. All right, so I am measuring out about 10 grams of this gentian. And you're going to see it kind of go over a little bit, and that's okay if it does. I like for my formula to equal about 100 grams in total, or equals to 100%. All right, so now our next herb we're going to do is the nettle leaf. Now with the nettle leaf, I am going to have 10 grams of that, and it will go over just a little bit, which is okay. But we just want to make sure we have that primary being the main focus here. So we have our nettle leaf and all the other ingredients added. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and just mix. You want to always mix your formula, make sure that, you know, it's mixed very well. Because these things are going to work together, okay? So let's go ahead and get this mixed up, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so we have it mixed pretty good, and as you can see, it looks like a brownish color. Now, this is my capsule machine that I use to make at least 209 capsules at a time. So I have all my capsules there, and now I'm just showing you how it works. Now that all the empty capsules are here placed, we're going to go ahead and put the herbs in there, and we're just going to try to get them spread even out on the board so that all the capsules can be filled. And so that's what we'll do here. Now that it's full, we're going to go ahead and kind of stamp it down with the damper here. I could be saying that wrong. But you just want to make sure all of the herbs is pushed down, and if you need to add more, you can add more. So now we're going to go ahead and press it because we are about to basically make the capsules. So once I have it out, you can see all the capsules are now encapsulated and it is together. Looks beautiful. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove these capsules from the plate, and you will see all of them here. So just make sure you have a space to put all of your capsules. All right, so we have our capsules made, and there's just a close-up of them. All right, so now it's time to get the measure. Now I have a video on how to calculate milligrams, and so I just start by using an empty capsule and just measure that and then zero that out, so that the next capsule that I place on this scale will only measure the herbs that's inside here. Okay, so everything that's measured is within inside this capsule. So it is 0.426, which is 426 grams. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this, and I hope it has brought some more of understanding of how to formulate your herbs. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another video of Herbs for Health. Make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next. See you guys next time.